This review was made possible by contributions from viewers like you.
Hey guys, as much as we love Batman the Animated Series, it is amazing that we got only one legitimately good movie out of it. There's Batman Mask of the Phantasm, which many would say is the objectively best Batman movie out there. Then there was Sub-Zero, which was okay, but nothing special. The Batman-Superman movie, which was just a 3-part episode of Superman the Animated Series. And then there was this shit stain on Paul Dini's career with Batman and Harley Quinn. But before the nosedive from just kind of meh to dear sweet lord what were they thinking, there was the mystery of the Batwoman. I think the idea was to bring the classic Silver Age character back into the public eye, but as we'll see, this Batwoman is nothing like her comic book counterpart, so you might say this is the beginning of dear sweet lord what were they thinking.
What's that?
Sorry, I forgot to put my phone on silent. Just a comment on my Batman 89 video.
Oh, what does it say?
You don't want to see the Batman, you suck, and I hate you. Whatever. Anyway, just like the other animated universe movies I've reviewed, this one opens with some music not by Shirley Walker. Isn't that some kind of sin against humanity? Sure, we could have our movie sound like this. But why would you want that when you can have it sound like a Skinamax movie with severe vertigo? We find these goons in the middle of transporting illegal weapons when they're apprehended by Batman?
Jeez Louise, it's a woman!
You are aware that female crime fighters exist, right? I mean, there's Wonder Woman, Batgirl, Zatanna, Catwoman. Why aren't you mistaking this girl for Batgirl in a snazzy new suit? She takes out one of the guns to use against them, and I'm not going to ding her for using lethal force. That's pretty much how every new vigilante starts out before they become a proper superhero and not kill their enemies. But blowing up the other guns and destroying the evidence... There's being an amateur, and there's just being stupid.
And I guess she just forgot that guns are more effective from the other end?
Of course, it isn't long before Batman notices this.
Whoa, who's having the light show?
I don't know, but I'm unfazed because I'm Batman. After destroying every shred of evidence and forcing the Batwing to catch the truck before it explodes, which of course it can do because...
Physics!
Batwoman flies off on her Green Goblin glider, but not before letting Batman get a good long look at her. Remember, the best way to get Batman off your back is to stare him right in the face. After an absolutely riveting opening title sequence... We find crime bosses Rupert Thorne and Carlton Duquesne meeting with the Penguin. I don't remember playing cards ever being a thing for Thorne. Did they want to include the Joker, but couldn't figure out how to work him in?
Mr. Duquesne, I hear we had an unpropitious setback.
If you mean we got hit, yeah.
And how exactly could that have happened?
And how exactly did I end up looking and sounding so different from the original series? Yeah, I can't say I was ever a big fan of the new Batman Adventures look. I get the idea behind making the character designs more streamlined to make it easier for the animators, but why did they have to change the Penguin from Danny DeVito to Burgess Meredith? And apparently they changed voice actors from Paul Williams to David Ogden Stiers because the producers wanted to give the Penguin a more threatening ambience. And that's all well and good, except that, 1, that voice doesn't fit that character design at all, and 2, you don't make him do anything! Seriously, Penguin may be the one making and selling these guns, but otherwise, he has nothing to do with this story. And how threatening does someone need to sound when they're armed with umbrellas that shoot surface-to-air missiles? We then meet Duquesne's daughter, Kathy, who Daddy has to keep on a short leash.
Where you been?
Don't worry, Daddy. I brought your lapdogs with me. For once, they came in handy. Shoo.
You should tell me when you go out.
And you're Kevin Michael Richardson in a Batman movie. How long until you become the new Joker?
Uh-huh. Who's on the phone?
Business. Nothing for you to worry about.
Meanwhile, all of Gotham is talking about the new Bat Vigilante. As far as we know, she's only been out during this one little skirmish, and she's already the talk of the town? Considering how you're trying not to get caught, you're really bad at this, lady.
Detective Bullock. Harvey. I think we've got more than enough bat freaks in Gotham already. I mean, sheesh, what's next? Bat Hound?
And what, he's gonna be voiced by Kevin Hart or something? Pfft.
Bruce Wayne here.
Bruce, it's Barbara.
Hey, Barb.
She misses you.
How's college?
Not bad, though the nightlife here can't compare with kicking butt as Batgirl. But spring break will be coming up soon, and I'll be back in Gotham for 2 whole weeks. Won't that be nice?
No, you're supposed to be with Dick.
Dick Grayson, right?
Yes, that Dick.
Anyway, that's not the reason I called. I just saw the news, and I was wondering if you'd gotten a new partner. Someone a little older?
I have no idea who she is.
'Cause if you had, I'd be really upset. 'Cause I thought you and I were, you know.
No, you're not! As it happens, this is the only appearance that Barbara makes in the entire movie. As desperate as Bruce Timm is to ship her and Batman, you'd think she might have a more prominent role to play, but this is it. And what did her involvement amount to?
Nothing! Absolutely nothing!
We then meet Rocky, this hopelessly clumsy scientist working for Wayne Tech, putting on a demonstration for a new kind of metal that she invented.
See this chunk of metal? I can program it to change shape.
I thought she said it was metal. Look at that.
You could have just opened with that instead of bumbling around with your charts, but whatever. And Bruce, professional that he is, immediately takes her out on a date.
I'm Bruce Wayne, and I like you. Let me tell you my big secret.
Actually, the technology's pretty simple. It's just a matter of imprinting morph lines with a pressure point. I'm not even sure what it's good for.
You're wasting millions of dollars worth of research funds on a product that you can't even think of any practical applications for? That's not how you science!
I can't tell you how cool it is to be in an R&D company that takes young women seriously, especially blondes.
Nobody takes you seriously because you're a terrible scientist. And a klutz. But suddenly the bat signal flashes.
I've never seen it before. Isn't it exciting?
Every time. Check.
I have to cancel dinner for completely unrelated reasons, not because I'm Batman.
Would have been funnier if you just left her with the check.
What is it, Commissioner?
You mean, what was it? We've been waiting out here for an hour. After taking a look at some of the ruined guns, which tells them nothing, Batman takes a casual glance at this keychain that Detective Bullock got off the truck driver, and he knows where to start digging for more clues. Detective Bullock didn't think to check up on the obvious Penguin reference. He may not be the world's greatest detective, but that doesn't make him a stupid one.
Even the Joker's less obvious than that.
Batman and Robin show up at the very obvious Penguin front company to look for more clues, when they hear gunshots inside.
There she is!
Cue the Skinamax music.
Yep, this is what an exciting action sequence sounds like.
He tried to kill me with a forklift. Olé!
Of course, Batman and Robin drop in and save the day.
Get him!
He took our only gun, so now we gotta get him by hand! They all narrowly escape as the factory goes up in an explosion as big as a city block. Thank God Batwoman destroyed those weapons of mass destruction.
They were making arms for Casmia. Something I'm sure the State Department would frown upon. This was their weapons plant.
Yes, it was their weapons plant, and you just destroyed all the evidence. Good work, stupid!
It would be a little hard to prove that now.
Doesn't matter.
Yes, it does! She somehow gets the better of Batman and flies off, but he manages to follow her to the Duquesnes' penthouse.
You got a lot of nerve, freak. You and your woman have caused me enough grief for one night. It's my home, my family. Get out!
Okay. You don't want to warn him that his family might be under attack by a crazy woman who's hiding under his roof? I am the Knight. Bye now. Kathy does a little shopping the next day, and rather than do something more practical, like scope out her home when the bulk of their security isn't there, Bruce decides to spend the entire day following her.
Brown, taffeta? What are they thinking?
Wow, that poor goon. Ma'am, can you please just buy something so we can go home? Kathy slips away from her goons thanks to Bruce's help.
You've just run off with a very notorious woman. I'm Kathy Duquesne, daughter of Carlton Duquesne.
The gangster?
Yes, but we try not to use the G word in front of Daddy.
You know what your father does for a living, but you have no idea how big of an obvious target you are? I'm sorry that Daddy's goons are cramping your style, but you kinda need them. Moron. They make a clean getaway and spend the rest of the day getting to know each other.
Bruce Wayne? What a photo op!
Did he just now introduce himself hours later?
I used to wonder what it's like to come from a respectable family, where there's no violence, no vendettas, no victims. What must that feel like? It must feel like freedom.
Kathy, be careful.
You sound like my mama. Be careful, Kathy. Don't go scaring me, girl. This was our favorite spot. We used to come out here to paint. She was a great artist. She said I had the eye. She said, honey, you could be another Carrie Mae Weems.
What happened?
She was the wife of a mob boss. Figure it out, world's greatest detective. But the romantic schmoozing comes to an end when her goons somehow track her down.
Down, boys.
Same goes to you, soundtrack. Don't bother building her up as the great love of Bruce's life. She's just another notch in his belt. Later that night, Batwoman breaks into Rupert Thorne's office to gather some evidence, believe it or not. But who files their folders upside down? Of course, Thorne and Penguin catch her in the act, and I guess Penguin left his rocket launcher umbrella at home, and all he can throw at Batwoman is this staple gun. Oh, wait, he actually has a machine gun in that umbrella? I guess he just forgot about that until now. Not satisfied with his performance, Thorne and Penguin cut ties with Duquesne so they can get some real muscle, and Kathy's role in this scene is just to show off her bikini-clad ass as she climbs out of her swimming pool, and honestly, I'm surprised that the camera isn't lingering on her any longer than this. We cut back over to Rocky, who's showing Tim Drake how to play a video game?
I've raided a few tombs in my time.
She found the secret bonus level to Death Castle 3000. Nobody at school can figure it out. The guys are gonna flip.
She's more proficient at gaming than a bunch of teenage boys? You need to fire her ass, Wayne. She's spending way too much time gaming and not sciencing. Bruce tells him to go meet Alfred in the car. And what was Tim doing here in the first place? And Kathy shows up so she and Bruce can hit the town.
Here she comes.
Well, what do you know? It's the trash, picking up the trash.
Okay, I know that you got a hate boner for Batman, but what do you have against Bruce Wayne? So they go to the Iceberg Lounge. Odd venue, considering how it looked like Kathy was embarrassed of her criminal ties, but apparently the Penguin is an old family friend, so I have no idea what's going on here.
Tell me that you don't like anything about me. I've seen it in your eyes, that look. You think that I don't notice.
Nice choice of music, too. The Iceberg Lounge is supposed to play cool jazz, not hot salsa. Kathy gets up to use the powder room, when Batwoman shows up to interrogate the Penguin with the aid of that special metal that Rocky developed.
They're constricting!
They'll slice a penguin like a turkey, unless you tell me who your new player is. Who's the big bad boogeyman? I can't hear you.
That's because you're strangling him. Penguin manages to call security, but I'm sorry, these ladies aren't going to be a threat to Batwoman when she's already taken down these hulking goons. Those ladies I can believe.
Or maybe these ladies really are that kick-ass and Penguin should just hire them for his new muscle.
Naturally, the police are ineffective. Batman shows up to save Batwoman, but it turns out that she isn't Kathy. Batman somehow changes back to Bruce when no one's looking and gets Kathy back home. Then we get some backstory about how Detective What's-Her-Face became a cop after Thorne tried to kill her family, and Rocky's out to get Penguin because he put her boyfriend in prison, establishing motives for either lady to be Batwoman.
Rocky, you can't keep doing this. It's too dangerous. If the Penguin finds out that you're spying on him...
He won't. Kevin, I can take care of myself. I'm not the wimp I used to be. I've changed. I've had to.
You'd have to be Supergirl to stand a chance against its goons.
Or a petite gymnast in a one-piece and a bowler.
2 petite gymnasts in a one-piece and a bowler. Gotta use the buddy system.
Rocky goes back home and finds Batman waiting for her.
What are you doing in my apartment?
Checking out your new designs. They're several steps beyond what you're doing for Wayne Tech.
You had no right to...
Where were you last night?
I was at Wayne Tech.
You left by 7.
Well, I went for a walk.
To the Iceberg Lounge?
Wait a minute. Are you trying to say I'm Batwoman?
He never mentioned Batwoman. You just gave yourself away. Batman leaves without learning anything new. Funny how everyone else Batman interrogates cracks like an egg, but he can't pump any more information out of this little nothing. Batwoman overhears that the Penguin is going to be shipping out his supply of weapons tonight with Bane as his new muscle, and Alfred gives Batman an idea.
Well, she can't be in 2 places at once, unless she has the power to duplicate herself.
Batman tells Robin to cross-reference Kathy and Rocky with just a hunch, not even a lead, and only 1 minute later is the question of who is the Batwoman completely ruined by Batwoman herself giving herself away.
I've got it all here. Their plans, the timetable, the manpower, Bane's agenda.
He's on to me.
What?
Batman. He knows everything about me. Where I work, what I do, all about Kevin. It's uncanny.
So what?
So what? He's gonna ruin everything. I told you we should have created a new identity, not just spun it off him.
Yeah, why did you spin your persona off of him again? That's not how you stay off his radar. Uh-huh. Before Batman could solve the mystery and give us the surprise reveal of who Batwoman really is, the mystery is completely ruined for us with these girls revealing that they're all Batwoman, with an entire half-hour of movie left to go. I'm sorry, but this is just cheating. In a proper mystery, you should be able to backtrack and see how all the clues fit together so that the big reveal at the end makes sense. There might be a red herring here and there, but the red herrings are actually not red herrings at all? And all 3 of these ladies are doing this because they have personal beefs with Thorne, Penguin, and Duquesne? How many hundreds of people's toes have these crime lords stepped on over the years? If you're gonna combine forces to take them down, you might as well organize and recruit all of Gotham into some kind of anti-crime army. And Detective Not Toya here doesn't even have any reason to reveal herself right now. There could at least be some mystery as to who this 3rd woman might be, but nope, just show us how the trick is done before the magician has a chance to do the trick himself. Batman's rifling through Kathy's unmentionables to look for a link between her and the other women. Or maybe he's just doing it for kicks. And he finds a crucial piece of evidence that links them all together.
Yes.
I got some bad news for you. There's no connection between Kathy and Rocky. Different cities, different circles, different planets. No way they could have known each other.
Yes, there is. All they needed was someone to introduce them.
Sadly, this reveal is more mysterious than the actual mystery, since we can't tell who that's supposed to be. All Bruce Timm women look alike.
And maybe, if that was a photograph, it would be more incriminating. But how's he going to recognize a quick charcoal sketch?
Batwoman sneaks aboard the Penguin's cruise ship that's carrying the weapons. She rigs one of these crates to explode, but... Oh yeah! How did he know Batwoman would go for that crate? Batman somehow tracks Detective What's-Her-Face to the roof of GCPD without her flashing the bat signal, and he gets her to confess everything that he already figured out off-screen.
Each of you brought something to the party. Kathy had the money, Rocky had the genius, and you had the scheme, and the will to make it happen.
She became a cop! That's how she's dealing with Thorn! Detective What's-Her-Face gets a phone call from Rocky about how their bomb should have gone off by now, tipping off Batman that Kathy's in trouble, so he goes off to save her. Instead of killing her on the spot, Bane reveals to his partners in crime, including Carlton for some reason, that Batwoman is really Kathy.
Kathy!
What's going on, Duquesne?
No wonder she always knew our plans. What? You think I told her?
She planned to use this. Don't let the size fool you, senors. It's a carbonite bomb.
It'll freeze anyone within radius and have them delivered to Jabba the Hutt.
This doesn't make sense!
On that we agree. Because I distinctly remember your daughter being at my lounge the same night that Batwoman assaulted me. You're not in this alone, are you, Kathleen?
And how bad is it that the frickin' Penguin figured it out before Batman? The Dark Knight himself shows up in the nick of time. We get some na-na-na-na-na-na-na-pow, and Thorn starts shooting them with one of his laser guns. Sure, fire these cutting lasers in a boat. What's the worst that could happen?
They're heading to sea. What do you think?
I think maybe you should have put your masks on before you go out flying around. Kathy starts the bomb's countdown, and Batman doesn't even attempt to disarm it, since apparently she made it to be tamper-proof, and the other Batwomen show up as Penguin and Thorn make a break for it.
Gats, they're multiplying!
I already put it together that there's at least one more Batwoman, but this is surprising somehow! Batman, meanwhile, still has to take down Bane.
I knew sooner or later we would face each other, Batman.
This ship is going down in less than a minute, Bane.
That's all the time I need.
I bet that one goes over well with the ladies. The bomb goes off. The other Batwomen are safe thanks to their solid metal gliders being surprisingly buoyant, and Batman's still fighting Bane. Frankly, I never understood how fights with Bane end up being as drawn out as they often are. If Batman's not gonna immediately go for the tubes in his head, Bane should be making his signature move.
Oh my god, no!
Oh, like a string of firecrackers, my f***ing back!
That's Bane.
Batman uses Rocky's metal thing to bind Bane. His tubes are cut, and he's somehow able to break out of it with less strength?
Yeah, sure, whatever.
And Batman gets away while Bane is caught in the ship coming down around him. What's Batman holding his side for? Alfred! I need you to pick me up! I've got a splinter! It's bad!
I've got you.
Maybe I should write the report this time. Huh, Bullock?
You are so fired! Actually, that's exactly what happens. Frankly, her not going to jail after the vigilante and attempted murder thing is really a miracle. Batman gives her the evidence that'll exonerate Rocky's boyfriend. Not sure what giving it to this ex-cop is supposed to do, but whatever. And despite all these women having more or less happy endings, we would never see them or Batwoman ever again. So that was Batman Mystery of the Batwoman, and what a waste of time it was. The new Batman Adventures doesn't have as many memorable stories as its predecessor, Batman the Animated Series, and this just feels like another episode that no one will remember. The story is bland and forgettable. Batman himself was just going through the motions without really solving this mystery. Robin could have been cut from the movie entirely and you wouldn't even notice, and the mystery itself is sloppily executed. Sure, you're not expecting there to be 3 women posing as Batwoman, but just because it's unexpected isn't enough to make it a good mystery. You might as well say that Alfred was Batwoman. You won't see it coming, but that doesn't mean that it works. Maybe next time we'll see something really mysterious. Ronin, rain, rat, rhyme, rain, rat, rattle!
Jinkies!
I'm Batman. Wee!
Subscribe, like, follow.